can take one and pass one around, please. Same thing here. Let's read our objective. 3, 2, 1.
Objective. Today we will use facts we know well to help us figure out our 8
multiplication facts. So, just like we've done with our other facts, sometimes we use the facts that we really know well to help us figure out the one that we're still working on. Okay, so we will do that today using the number line. So, let's start with 3 times 8. And show me on your number line, how do you think about breaking up that fact to figure out what 8 times 3 is, or 3 times 8? You know the commutative property, right? 8 times 3 is the same thing as 3 times 8. So how will you show that in your open number line? Notice that this is one of the facts that for some reason it's not sticking. Okay, are we ready? I'd like to ask Natalie if you can come up here and just share what your number line looks like. So how do you think about it, Natalie? You did, so we have 2 groups of 8, and that is 16. So she thought about it as 2 groups of 8, and that's 16, right? Did anybody else think of 2 groups of 8 to figure it out? And then you did 1 more group of 8. That's about half. 1 more groups of 8, and that's how much more? 8 more, so 16 plus 8 is 20. Did anybody do it the way Natalie did it? Okay, thank you. Did anybody do it a different way using multiplication facts to break it up? April? 4 times 8, so you did 4 groups of 8. And you know what? I know that this is just a complete new number line because I don't have, so you did 4 groups of 8. And why did you do 4 groups of 8? You already learned your 4 facts, right? So we know that 4 times 8 equals to what, class? 32. 32. Okay, but then what do you think? Okay. And then you took away 1 group of 8 because you have 1 too many, right? So you have 32 minus 8 is 24. Did anybody else do it like April did? Show me if you did it this way. Show me if you did it this way. And show me if you did it this way. Okay, all right. Let's think of another fact. You can go ahead and erase. A harder one, okay? I know one that gets harder, right? Let's think about 7 times 8. This is one of the hardest ones. I think even adults sometimes have to stop a little bit and think about it. How would you break up 7 times 8? We haven't done 7 multiplication facts.
We do know our 8.
But we're learning our 8s. How will you break it up so that you know what 7 times 8 is?
A little bit different. Can I see yours?
Don't say you did it. I actually couldn't.
Oh, you subtracted.
Okay, I just would like to call. Let's see what strategy you use. I like. Okay, I notice a lot of you did 5 times 8. Why did you do 5 times 8?
Because we already know our
I heard Elliot. 5 times 8 is easy. We already know that, right? So if you're taking 5 groups of 8, how much is that, class?
40.
40. And then how many groups more did you need? 2 more groups. And that is how much?
16.
16. So 40 plus 16 is?
56.
56, okay. All right. Did somebody use a so you did it like that too? Okay, I noticed April, did a similar strategy where she's taken away. You must like to take away. But I'd like to hear from another one that broke it up in a different way. And if Victoria, could you come up here and share your strategy? Okay. 4 times 8 equals to 32. And then you did 3 times 8, and that's how much? 3 times 8 plus 24. So if we add 24 and 32, that's equal to 56. Now I noticed, thank you, Victoria. Who did it the way Victoria did it? No? Just you? Jameson, did you do it that way too? Okay. All right. I noticed some students were doing this, and I want you to tell me what you think about this. 1 times 8 times 1 times 8 times 1 times 8 times 1 times 8. How many times am I going to do that? 7. Okay, do you think that when you're thinking about your multiplication facts, is it going to be correct? Is this going to be correct if I keep going? What do you think? Do you think that is an efficient way to find out what your math fact 7 times 8 is? You're multiplying by ones? Or it's almost...
It's good if it's only like 2 or 3.
It's good if it's 1 or 2 or 3. Comment, Nancy?
I mean, it's better to do it that way if you don't know any times facts.
If you don't know any of your time facts, right?
Once you get to like 4 times 8,
Yeah.
then you should just do like 16 plus 16 or like.
You need to
Then
break
it's
it
so
up.
much easier.
Right, otherwise you're doing 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 7 times, right? And that takes a long time, okay? I'm going to ask Morgan to show us how she figured out 9 times 8 or 8 times 9. And it looks similar to something that another student did. Okay, say that again. Okay, so Morgan did how many groups of 8? 10 groups of 8. Is that too many?
No.
Yes, right? So then you decided to take away 1 group of 8. And that is 80 minus 8, which is equal to?
72.
Okay. Does that look like something that someone else did before?
Yeah,
Who did that?
April.
Right. April had done where she has more groups and then she takes away 1. So she's doing something similar here. Okay. I noticed that a lot of you use the 5. Brian, would you like to show how you did yours? First he started with 5 times 8. What is that, class? 5 times 8 is equal to? 40. And then? You need 4 more groups of 8. What is 4 times 8, class? 32. So if we add 32 to 40, that's equal to? 72. Okay. So Dylan did 3 groups of 8, and 3 groups of 8 is class? 24. And another 3 groups of 8.
Was 48.
So now 24 and 24 is 48. And what else do you think he did after that? Another 3 groups of 8.
Because 3 times 3 equals 9, so because 3 groups equals 3 is 9.
Okay.
So you know it.
Okay. I like that you're saying that. So Dylan is saying I have 3 groups of 8 here. I have another 3 groups of 8 here. Another 3 groups of 8 here. So that's equal how many groups of 8? How many groups of 8? 9 groups of 8. Thank you for mentioning that. Okay. Boys and girls, I'd like you to think about this when you're multiplying. We have many different ways of doing it, but I want you to think about which one you think about is easier for you to do, okay? And which one isn't going to take a very long time, right? So when we're doing our class packs right now, I want you to think, If I think of 8 times 9, the easiest way for me is to think of 8 times 10 and taking away 1. Okay? Not the 1 times 8 times 8 because that might take you a long time. So think of what comes easier to you. Okay? Are you ready for some class facts?
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Ellen, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it. Let me start with 5 times 8.
40.
7 times 8.
56.
Riley, how did you think of that?
I thought it was 7 times 8 is 56 because 5 times 8 is 40 and 2 times 8 is 16.
All right, so 5 times 8 and then 2 times 8 is 16. Okay, ready? Let's do another one. 9 times 8.
72.
72. 3 times 8.
24.
4 times 8.
32.
6 times 8.
48.
40.
How do you think of that over?
I think of it as 5 times 8 is 40, plus 1 times 8 is 8, which is 40 plus 8 equals 48.
Okay, 6 times 8 is 48. 5 times 8 is 40, and one more group is 48. Okay? 10 times 8.
80.
9 times 8.
72.
6 times 8.